Now, when we talk about people who aren't into craft beer, right? They only drink their lattes. what would you what do you think is the key to moving them over? You know, would you present them with a craft lager or craft pilsner first? Like, what do you think is like a way to
or like something sessionable, maybe one of
To
these
get people
lower
over.
ABVs, maybe one of these beers where now they're putting it's still craft, but they got calories on there, and I mean they're doing that now.
Yeah.
I mean it's happening.
So whenever somebody, I still, as much as I can, I go to beer festivals and when I'm working for Guinness in an official capacity, and I rep, and we talk about Guinness, and the number of people who walk up to me and say, I don't drink Guinness. What are the reasons people don't drink Guinness, right? What do they say, right? It's too heavy.
Right.
It's too thick. I don't like stout, whatever, you can go on and on and on, right?
16 ounces weighs 16 ounces or 12 ounces. It's not any heavier.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But they say all these things, and it has illuminated a very basic truth, but something that I've kind of taken to the bank, which is, if I can provide a little bit of context to you, right? I have pretty much a 100% conversion rate for people at festivals who tell me that, right? Because as soon as you tell me that, I'm all over you, right? Because what I do is I say, look, I bet you I can get you to like Guinness Draft right now, right? And they go, no chance. And then they always do, right? Because it just takes a little bit of context, right? It takes a little bit of information for somebody to actually, for the light bulb to switch on, right? And that's true about everything, right? That's true about food and drink and experiences, and choose your whatever, right? I've never been axe throwing, but once you've gone axe throwing, it's the best thing you've ever done, and you want to keep going axe throwing, right? But if it's not on your radar initially, it's hard to get it on your radar. So the big challenge is just putting it on your radar initially. So when you teach people and give them, the key is always education, right? The key is giving them a little more context to what's going on. Give them a little more information about what you do, why you produce the products that you produce, and why it's important. And like I said, it's a slow burn, but that's really the sustainable path forward, because it creates advocates, and then it creates, it gives people the ability to sort of discover who you are and continue to explore.
I've got firsthand experience with this, and Jake and Adam know this guy, Trent Snyder, who owns Bridge Up Brewing up in Sturgeon Bay in Door County in Wisconsin. And he will he'll go up to the bar and watch somebody order a Bud Light, Budweiser, whatever, watch them drink it. And then they'll go up to him and say, hey, I noticed you're drinking that. Why don't you can I offer you a taste of our Zwickel lager? That's what he calls it.
Yep.
And he'll present it to him. And it's amazing to watch. And I was up there last week to watch a beer drinker sit at the bar, drink his Bud Light or whatever, and then try a craft beer that's brewed right there at that restaurant called Sonny's, and to watch them taste the beer, look at Trent, the brewer, and say, "That's really good. I'll give me one of those. I'll have one of your beers right here, right now." And Trent brews 6 barrels. He's got a 6-barrel brewery. It's tiny.
It's literally in a closet. Like it's funny watching him brew, but it's so small.
But it's awesome to watch that actually happen in real time, where somebody will try his beer and say, "Oh wow, well, you've kind of opened my eyes to what else is out there, and craft beer is as good or better than what I'm currently drinking." And it's all about advocacy and going out and meeting a beer drinker, especially on that, super local level. He doesn't distribute. It's only available right there at that particular place. But to watch someone drink that and say, "Oh wow, I've never tried this before, and now I'm going to go forward and maybe I'll expand my horizons a little bit the next place I go," because that place is very touristy. It's a lot of vacationers, and they go home, and then they'll go find their local brewery and say, "I tried this type of beer at this little tiny brewery up in Wisconsin, and let me try yours." And it's kind of a really neat thing to see.
It's great. That's been the discovery process, I think, for most people, and I've seen that exact same thing happen probably hundreds of times at this point. Whether it's with a beer I know intimately, like Guinness, or a beer that is close to my heart, something that I grew up with. But it's amazing to see that discovery process, and all of the other market factors aside for a second, when push comes to shove, there is no amount of clever experiential lifestyle marketing that can possibly compete with one person talking to another person saying, this is why I brewed the beer, or this is why I drink this beer. You should try this beer too, right? That's the most powerful, moment there. So.
And that's something you can't get from the big, the Budweisers and the Millers. You can't, and that's why I love craft so much. It's like we've all said before. It's the story. It's the person behind the beer. I can walk into a brewery and 9 times out of 10 I can talk to the brewmaster or even the owner. They're there. You can't get that. And Trent's a great example. He'll go out there and just sit with everybody else while everybody's drinking and talk with everybody. It's pretty cool to see.
It's good to hear that the brewer likes to come out and talk to people. A lot of brewers don't like to do that.
It's one of his favorite things. I mean, he absolutely loves. He calls himself a brewer for the people in Door County, Wisconsin, and it's the feedback that he gets from someone that says, yeah, I mean, it's good. Maybe I don't like it. Maybe I could try this or try that, or whatever the taste is. He's getting that feedback and saying, all right, well, maybe I'll try something else next time. And he's brewing on such a small scale that he can take that feedback and adjust it and
pretty much immediately
and present it again. And, get somebody to say, oh, well, that really is good. So.
And speaking of Trent and Bridge Up, in September, we're actually going up there and going to be brewing with him.
Yes.
A Beard and Hops brew. So
that's great.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. He's been amazing. So,